speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a...
Something huge is unfolding in Hollywood, and one man is stepping forward to pull back the curtain on it all. Oscar-nominated actor Terrance Howard. Known for his powerful roles in Hustle and Flow and Empire, Terrance is now making headlines for something way deeper than acting. He's exposing what he says is the dark, disturbing truth behind the entertainment industry, and at the center of it all, Sean Diddy Combs. In a recent sit-down with Patrick Bet-David, Terrance opened up about why he stepped away from Hollywood. And it's not because he ran out of roles. He walked away from millions because, according to him, the cost of success was his soul. Terrance claimed that behind all the flashing lights, red carpets, and awards is a network built on silence, manipulation, and abuse. And when he refused to play by those rules, allegedly including turning down Diddy's disturbing advances, he became a target. What's worse?
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
Terrance didn't just hint at Diddy. He connected the dots to a whole web of A-listers who, he says, were either involved or complicit. We're talking names like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and even LeBron James, allegedly being wrapped up in this mess, at least according to a newly filed lawsuit that's sending shockwaves through the industry. And that's not all. Terrance went so far as to say this might be one of the biggest sex trafficking operations in Hollywood history. If Diddy ends up behind bars, it could blow the whole system wide open. Terrance tweeted before his interview that he was just getting started. He called this moment the end of the great lie and a revolution in the making. Powerful words from someone who's been holding a lot back for a long time. But his boldness didn't come without a price. Shortly after his claims went public, Terrance revealed he was approached and threatened by people he spoke out against. He's now gone on record saying he's not afraid to speak the truth, but it's clear that this isn't just celebrity gossip. This is dangerous territory.
Listen, before y'all talk about me, y'all need to talk to me. You see, once upon a time, if a man questioned another man's honor, he didn't do it from the shadows. He had to do it out in the open, with his name, his chest out, and his chin high. Not hiding behind the keyboard or tucked behind editing clips of fair use disclaimers. You see, citing Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not give you free rein to defame, misrepresent, or harm another's reputation. Fair use is not a shield for character assassination. So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego, if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusation.
His statements also brought attention to others in the industry, like Usher and Justin Bieber, who Terrance suggests have endured similar abuse and now struggle with trauma, depression, and addiction as a result.
You see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
It's a lot to take in, and if what Terrance is saying is true, we're talking about a level of corruption that spans decades, involving not just music moguls, but film directors, studio executives, and more. He described this hidden network as a kind of gay mafia, a group that allegedly uses power, money, and fear to silence and control. And let's not forget, Diddy has already been under fire for months, facing multiple lawsuits and shocking allegations that have pulled back the curtain on years of alleged misconduct.
You got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far, you know? Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head, you know? But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there, because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card.
But with Terrance stepping up, someone who isn't from the hip-hop world, but who's witnessed these things from the inside, the walls might be closing in faster than anyone expected. This might just be the tip of the iceberg. That's it for today's drop, but this story is far from over. If even half of what Terrance Howard is saying is true, Hollywood's biggest reckoning might just be around the corner. What do you think? Do you believe Terrance is risking it all to tell the truth, or is this another celebrity spinning tales? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Funny, my friend said to me, rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, well, until you see them at a puffy party.
Oh.
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive because the masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray.
What is it with all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about? I mean, like with the puffy parties, like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff
Yeah, I
was
didn't-
wrong. It's wonderful. I just did not think that's what Puffy was doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him